We're with Demon basketball coach Mike McConathy, whose team is 2-0 going into Thursday night's home game against Louisiana Monroe at 7 o'clock in Prather Coliseum. Coach McConathy, before we get to the ULM game, clearly what a great start for the Demons. Actually, you're 2-1, but it feels like 2-0 after a 19-point win at Auburn. Talk about that win and how the Demons did it.
Well, our kids just stayed together. We attacked the bucket. We made free throws. We rebounded in the second half, something that we hadn't done very often, but we did a great job on the boards. Our guards crashed down on the boards. Jalen West, for instance, had 9 rebounds that game along with 30 points. So we just did a great job of pushing the ball up the floor. They were running a zone. We made shots, and we made free throws. Made 14 straight free throws at the end of the game when they were fouling us to put us on the line, and we made every one when we stepped up there. And 25 for 29 on the game, 85%. That's pretty strong.
Then the next night you go to LSU and played a very competitive game, fell by 14. What did you learn about your team, good and bad, this weekend?
Well, I think that mentally we were not as tough as we needed to be in the LSU game. They were very, very physical. We didn't rebound. We got out-rebounded double digits, but we just didn't make our free throws in that game, and we didn't shoot the ball extremely well. And I think it was more mental than it was physical, but I think that we had to junk it up, if you might say, defensively, and that really concerns me right now because we had to go and win the games. And so we got away with some of the things from some of our staples, for instance, rotating people. We had 3 guys playing 30 minutes 2 nights in a row, and if any of my former players saw that, they would just be appalled that we had a guy play 37 minutes, 38 minutes in one of the games. So it was one of those situations where you were trying to give it your best shot and you had to do what you needed to do. So we've got to get back to Demon basketball, picking up people, trying to turn them and make some things happen, and hopefully we'll do that on Thursday night against ULM Monroe.
Let's talk about the Warhawks and a team that just had a big win over Samford and a coach that you have a lot of respect for in Keith Richard.
Keith Richard is one of the most underestimated coaches in the state. He had 150 wins at Louisiana Tech. Did a phenomenal job, won a WAC championship. Phenomenal coach, has done a great job. Was at LSU for a year before he came back to take over APR decimated program at ULM, and they've had tremendous number of sanctions, but they have really done a job along with his staff of Lonnie Cooper and then Ryan Cross, who really a solid coach. They've done a great job of getting their players back. They've been able to recruit some guys that fit what they're trying to do at this point. Keith Richard's one of the best game planning coaches that there is, and I know that he'll have a plan that will be very difficult for us, and we've just got to do a good job to offset that and play Demon basketball. I'm very concerned about it because I don't think we're where we need to be defensively at this point, and we're not rebounding the ball. As I told my team today, I guess I was just going to take rebounding over and just let everybody else coach everything else, but we don't think that's very important, and we need to do a better job of rebounding.
Now, if you're Keith Richard, how do you scout this team knowing that the last 2 games you certainly deviated from the rotation system? What do you expect to see if you're Keith Richard coming in Thursday night?
I would think that he's probably going to continue to do the things that he does because he does them extremely well. Williams is a really good player inside, and I can't say the young man's name from Kenya correctly, so I won't even try to go there. He can really score the ball from outside, and Kapala is a good point guard. He's a very standard looking, I don't know the way to say it, but he's stocky and strong, and he really gets them in their stuff. And so I just think he's going to stick with his stuff, and he's going to run it and execute it and do a very, very good job like he did against Samford last night.
It's 2 programs that have a long, rich tradition against each other. It's 2 North Louisiana teams. These are the kind of games I know you love to play.
Well, I just think that they're really good for basketball. I mean, somebody's got to lose. And surely I don't want to lose, but I think that we need to be playing one another because it stimulates interest, because people would rather go see us play Monroe or Louisiana Tech or Lafayette that we have on the schedule, or McNeese, who we don't play but once this year, but McNeese, those type games. They enjoy that because they can identify with that. It's very hard for them to identify with some. Stephen F. is another example. It's a game that people identify with. So we're excited about it and look forward to the opportunity to compete. And they'll be here at our house, and we're hoping that we'll have a great crowd and people will come. It'll be just a single game because the women are on the road. Wish them the best of luck at a tournament at Baylor, and they're doing a fabulous job. But we just gotta come and compete.
Having beaten an SEC team by 19 points, does that change the expectation level for your team?
Not really. My dad told me one time that you could take that win or take that which game production, and you can go down the store and coffee still costs whatever it cost before. We've got to go get it job done. Now, does it change the expectation level of everybody else? Everybody else possibly from a spectator saying, oh, well, you know, they've beaten Auburn, surely they'll be able to beat Monroe. Well, it's a different day and it's a different team, and you never know what's going to happen in basketball.
All right, thanks, Coach.
We're here with Lady Demon head coach Brooke Stoehr. And Brooke, you had a big win over Houston last week. So just talk about what a win like that does for the process of the program.
Well, I think, we stressed our players, going into the game, win or lose, it's all about getting better that day. And obviously we were extremely thrilled to come out on the winning end of that game. And I think it builds momentum, it builds confidence for this young team. And I think as we move forward, we stress to them, look, it's just one game. Our season's not won or lost today. And although we're very, very proud of you guys for the win and the way you executed, we still have lots of room for improvement. And I think that's the exciting thing as a staff when you walk out of that game of when you go back and watch the film, there were just so many areas that we need to improve on. And I think that's exciting that we could, score 74 and really feel like there's a lot of room to improve throughout the season.
All right, Keisha Lee had 28 net and 7 boards as well. So just talk about her improvement from last year and then as the season goes on.
Keisha just looks really confident out on the court right now. I think having a year in our offensive system is really beneficial for her. I think she understands what we're trying to do. She has that attack, aggressive mentality on the offensive end, and that's really big. She got some huge defensive boards for us down the stretch in the second half that I thought allowed us to start our break and get out in transition and run a little bit. Just really proud of her consistency. She didn't take a ton of shots to score those 28. She was very efficient, shot a very high percentage, and it's something that, she plays 34 minutes and has 1 turnover. And so I think that, with that production and that efficiency, if we can continue to get that on a night-in, night-out basis from her, I'm excited about our backcourt.
This weekend you play 3 games in 3 days. Just talk about what the purpose of playing these kind of tournaments is during the early part of the season.
We looked at and doing a multi-team event and being a part of that with a couple of things in mind. One, we wanted to prepare our team. When you get to March and you play in the conference tournament, if we have to play 3 games in 3 days, we want to be prepared for that, and we don't want March to be the first time our players have been exposed to that. So it's exciting for us to be able to do that and just kind of see how we hold up. It's a chance for us, secondly, is to go play 2 games on a neutral court and games that we feel like will be very competitive in. And I think that, that's exciting for our team. Another thing is just being able to play a lot of players within those 3 days and get minutes for a lot of people that need minutes. And obviously we're going to go compete hard and win and try to win all 3 games. But I think again it's a measuring stick for us when you go 3 games in 3 days to see where we are and to see how we stack up.
All right, in those 3 days you play Texas, San Antonio, Baylor, and Savannah State. So just gotta give us little snippets of each team?
Yeah, I think our first game is going to be a tough one against UTSA. It's a former Southland Conference member. They've got a couple of backcourt players that are pretty experienced and very good scorers for them. They had a tough game against Texas, and they just beat UTA on Sunday. So they're going to be a team that's going to run lots of different sets in the half court. They like to get out and push and transition and really attack. Defensively, they're going to put pressure on us and really try to create some turnovers. Baylor, top 10 team, we know what we're going to get with them. It's a different look for them this year. They've lost 5 seniors and a lot of experience and length on the perimeter, and then also Brittany Griner inside. But the main thing is they have Odyssey Sims, and she's arguably the best point guard in the country, and she just makes them go. She's so aggressive on the offensive end. I think her defense doesn't get enough credit. She's extremely talented on-ball defender. So we'll have our hands full with that. And then we have Savannah State, another team that likes to put up a lot of points, a lot of shots, likes to get out in transition. They're averaging a good number of points. They haven't only played 2 games, so that's the deal with them. But it's exciting for us to be able to get those 3 opponents and kind of see where we measure up.
Thank you, Coach.